Hey everyone, welcome to Singularity Hardware Order Analysis Video 10. Now there is a lot of hardware to cover here today, but all of this hardware I've either covered in past hardware order analysis videos, or I'm going to be covering it in videos coming up. So I'm just going to be brushing over all of this hardware, and then you can check it out in detail in the other videos. So I'm going to get straight into it. Okay, the BitPhoenix Spectra Pros. All of these are either for my upcoming client builds or they're going into stock for future builds. I have here 4 120mm and 4 140mm. They're the black non-LED versions, and I covered the 120mm version in Singularity Hardware Order Analysis Video 7. So I'm not going to be giving you another look at these fans because you are going to be seeing them coming up in detail, and I'm considering even doing a review or some kind of video comparing different fans, maybe the Noctua NF F12, the Spectra Pro, and something from Noise Blocker, and a couple of, a few others. I'm going to do a big video with a roundup of different fans. So yeah, not going to talk too much about these today, but I will give you a look at the specifications just quickly of the 120mm version and the 140mm version. So there you go. Moving on, I've already covered this as well. This is just a Silverstone 4-in-1 SATA power connector. Here I have an XSPC 120mm radiator stand or mount. And yeah, I did cover this in Singularity Hardware Order Analysis Video 7 as well. And you might be seeing these upcoming in the client build logs. I'm thinking of using these to mount radiators to the bottom of the Silverstone Temjin TJ11. Because yeah, the TJ11 comes with nothing to mount radiators to the bottom of the case. So you've really got to come up with your own ideas. A lot of people just use Velcro. But yeah, that's just not suitable for a client build. I mean, I do it in my own, but client builds that I'm sending into state, it's just not enough. So, Silverstone hard drive cage. This converts 3 5.25 inch to 3 3.5 inch bays. And I did give you a look at this in a previous hardware order analysis video. Here I have a bunch of BitPhoenix Alchemy cables. I have some silver SATA cables. Now, I actually got these for the Singularity NAS build. I'll put a link on the screen to the build log that I did. And these are going to be out of sight, so the color doesn't matter. And these were the only ones that they had in stock. I mean, I would have just got black, but they only had silver at the time. And yeah, as I said, completely out of sight. You're never going to see them. It's just a NAS build anyway. And what I needed was no 90 degree. I needed them both to be straight, and I needed this length in particular. So these are going to be perfect. And yeah, you'll be seeing these in a little update video that I'm doing on my NAS build. I'm just putting a new power supply in it. These cables, cleaning up all the cable management, putting some new fans in it, etc. So that update video is coming up. I've got some more BitPhoenix Alchemy cables here. These are triple Molex to 3-pin splitters, so I'll just get one of them. I'm not going to pull these out of the packets yet because you'll be seeing these in the upcoming client build logs. So there it is there, Molex to 3x3-pin fan adapter, and it's the 12-volt version. So you can see it's all nicely sleeved, just like all the BitPhoenix Alchemy cables are. So I got these quick disconnects for upcoming client builds or to go into stock if I don't use them. I do use them a lot. You can see I've got them here in this build. The only reason that I use them is purely for convenience. They just make a loop so easy to drain and dismantle. They might restrict flow a little bit, but it really pays off with the convenience. There's just nothing like being able to twist and undo a fitting and then start draining your loop. Here I have a whole bunch of Silverstone 120mm dust filters, and these are all for Singularity Beast II. You would have seen in the last video that I did covering Singularity Beast II, which is actually this build here, I was talking about dust filters and what I was going to do about it, and that I had decided on these Silverstone dust filters. So that's what they're for. And yeah, I like these dust filters. I use them in a lot of builds because they've got a fine mesh, they're a high quality filter, they fit like next to each other on a radiator, so they can be used in a lot of different applications. Very handy. Here I have two BitPhoenix Alchemy green 30cm LED strips. Now both of these are for a client build, and yeah, you'll be seeing these upcoming. I'm not sure if I'm going to be actually using these or if I'll be using something else. I always design my lighting, you know, it's really one of the last things that I do, and I'll just use the most suitable lighting, whether it's cold cathodes, just LEDs alone, or LED strips, whatever fits, whatever works best. But you know, if I don't use them, obviously they'll go into stock. Now I have covered these before in this segment, and you will be seeing them in the future. The really cool thing about these is that you can actually daisy chain them, like you can plug them into each other. So that's why I pick these a lot of the time. Okay, next up, the new single sleeve cables from Corsair. Corsair has released these for the AX and HX power supply series, and these are not cable extensions. These are modular cables that come directly for the power supply. They're designed specifically for a certain power supply or power supply series. These are for the AX 1200, both of these kits, and as you can see I have a red and a black. You're going to be seeing these upcoming in Singularity Beast II build log part 10. This build has two AX 1200 power supplies, but I'm pretty sure I'm only going to be using one of the kits. And yeah, it's going to be the red kit because most of the cables that you can see on this side of the build are actually cable extensions. Only the power supply cables here come directly from the power supply, and also there's just one 8-pin up there that comes directly from the PSU. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm just going to run the red cables to the graphics cards, and the rest of the cables I'm just going to keep as black cable extensions because you can't really see them anyway. I'll put a link on the screen to the Singularity Beast II build log so that you can check that out if you haven't already. I'll just give you a close look. The quality of the sleeving is awesome. I absolutely love these cables. I don't like really thick sleeving. Some people do. You know, I just think it bulks up the cables too much and just takes up so much space in the build. You know, it might look good, but really it's just cables. Why do you want to show them off so much and have them so big and bulky? I mean, you know, having single sleeve cables like this is showing them off, but yeah, at least it's not full on massive and bulky. You can still tuck them away nicely. So yeah, I really love this sleeving. It's kind of got a bit of a shine to it, and just have a look at that. The heat shrink doesn't go all the way into the connectors there, and what you can, the red that you can see just here is actually the cable itself. So they've actually matched the color of the cables that they're using with the sleeving. So that is amazing, and all of these are exactly the same. They're just so precisely done. Very impressed. I'll just give you a brief look at the black cables as well. This is the Lambtron FC5 V2, and this is also for Singularity Beast II. It's to go alongside the other FC5 that I have running here, and these fan controllers are to run my radiator fans, of which I have 12 because I have 3 480mm radiators. So I have Phobia Nano 2G fans running on the radiators. They're a red LED fan, as you can see, and they have 14 blades, red and black blades. I've actually got a review on these fans, so I'll put a link on the screen for you to check that out. So you'll be seeing this in Singularity Beast II build log part 10. I'll be installing this fan controller alongside the other one and hooking up all the fans to fan controllers. Okay, finally the Hardware Labs Black Ice GTX Extreme Gen 2 560mm radiator. This is definitely my favorite radiator, and I'm actually going to be getting another one of these because I'm doing two similar client builds into the Silverstone Temjin TJ11, if you haven't already heard or gathered that from what I've been saying. And yeah, both of them are going to have this radiator installed into the bottom compartment of the case. This is the most high performance radiator of this form factor. There's also the Black Ice SR1 560mm, and yeah, that's a silent version, so it's not as high performance. It's got a lower FPI. You can see this has a 20 FPI, 20 fins per inch. And yeah, it's for, you know, higher RPM, louder fans than the SR1. I'll just give you a look on the side here because it has all of the recommended capacity for each of the radiators, the heat dissipation of each of the Black Ice radiators. So moving on, so you can see there all the GTX radiators and the different sizes, and there it is, the GTX 560 at the bottom, 2350 watts of heat dissipation according to Black Ice. That is just incredible. So I'll just give you a look at what Black Ice has to say, the write-up on this radiator. And that's it. I'm not going to give you a look at the radiator. You'll be seeing it upcoming in two of the client builds that I'm doing very soon. I'll be showing you the radiator in detail, so I'll keep you in suspense. That sums up this video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and favorite if you want to see more.